Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Jay Longo back here with a new video, and today we're going to be going over NFL Week 10 picks of the 2024 season in the league where they get paid to play. Sorry about last week, folks. Week 9, I had to take a little vacation, try and get some warm weather to get rid of this China flu that's been going around my area. But I'm back better than ever, ready to make some money with you folks, and starting off this beautiful week, we are headed to Baltimore for the Thursday night primetime action at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time. Lord, just make the primetime games at 7 already, please. But we got the Bengals here traveling into Baltimore, one of their favorite cities to play in if you ask any other players. Both these teams like to play dirty, and I like these Ravens running the ball clean. Look at the blocks that these linemen are getting. Lamar and Henry have gaps for days. I don't see these Bengals being able to slow them down again. Even though their first matchup in the year wasn't too long ago, the Bengals had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter with 5 minutes left in the game. And that one crazy lady just had to talk that shit to Lamar. He turned up and didn't forget. He put them Bengals fans to rest. Don't you think that they won't be showing up this Thursday, louder than ever, trying to secure their way to the playoffs? This is going to be a great matchup, folks. Tune in, and I got the Ravens to win big. Give me the Ravens to cover at -5.5 on Thursday night prime time. Give me the King for a touchdown. He's electric. Sunday at 9 a.m. Yep, that's right, folks. Set your alarms clock, because we're going to back cross seas when the tension in the world is at its tightest. But pack your bags, folks. You can't miss this one. This is going to be one for the ages. The Giants versus the Panthers. I know I'm going to be there. I can't wait to see this atmosphere in Germany. I'll be staying at the Hotel Munich Palace. And to take the edge off, I'll kick back and enjoy myself a tall lager at the Hofbrughaus Munich restaurant. Don't mind if I do have one of Germany's finest bratwursts while I'm at it. Panthers are the home team in this matchup, apparently, as both these teams travel across seas to play in a barn burner of a matchup. I like the Giants here to just win this one outright, but I don't really see how the Panthers can score against that zone defense. Yeah, Bryce Young and that offense seemed to squeeze one by against the Saints last week, but both these teams will struggle to run the ball, and I like the Giants' passing offense a lot better than this. There's a lot of money on the Panthers, and I never like that, especially when majority of the sharp money is backing the Giants to cover the spread. So me and the Sharps are at it this week, and I like the Giants to cover a 5.5-point spread in Munich, Germany. Moving on, 49ers at Buccaneers. First 1 o'clock game on Sunday. What a better way to kick it off. Buccaneers coming into San Francisco here on a short notice after a very tough loss to the get-out-of-here Chiefs in Kansas City. Man, it's impossible to beat this team this year. They might go undefeated. But Baker Mayfield's seen that coin flip in the overtime, and he knew it was headed. Yeah, next week, he was already getting ready as he watched his team struggle to defend Mahomes in the overtime loss. But I really like the Bucs here, where the public's going to be heavy on the 49ers, especially since they're getting Christian McCaffrey back. He's in the lineup this practice week. He's looking stronger and healthier than ever. Gotta love that kid. He's money for an anytime touchdown. And if he plays, I like him to score. I could see it happening early or maybe even late to close the game out. But I like that honky finding the end zone, and the Bucs to really cover in this one. Might be a shocker, but I'm on the dogs this week, and you'll see. Give me the Buccaneers at +6.5 on a short notice when the 49ers actually are coming off of a bye week. So they've had all the time in the world to prepare for these Buccaneers. Right? We'll see, people. Give me the Buccaneers +6.5. Moving on. Falcons at Saints. Man, what a letdown these Saints are. After a big loss against a divisional opponent last week in the Panthers, one where either team could have just pulled away really at any point in time. I didn't like where it was going, and neither did my wallet. I like these Saints, though, to keep this one a little bit close. I think Derek Carr can find the rhythm and bounce back. The Falcons' passing defense hasn't been all that, but they have been shut down when it comes down to it late in the game. So I'm really leaning towards the Falcons to just outright win this one. The spread on this one's at 4, and I think it's a little funny. Falcons should be able to move the ball on the ground against this New Orleans defense. They've been struggling all year. Chuba Hubbard racked up over 70 and a touchdown, 2 touchdowns against them last week. Game-sealing touchdown, if I will. I like the Falcons and Bijan Robinson, one of my favorite playmakers in this league where they get paid to play. Give me Bijan anytime and these Falcons to roll on through the Saints. Falcons money line. Broncos at Chiefs. Broncos just took another beating against the Ravens. Man, what are they doing? I really had the Broncos backed up in that one. I'm not falling for it again this week. They looked horrendous. And the Chiefs? Well, how can you stop these Chiefs? I could see them going undefeated all the way to the end. The first ever 17-0 season. Why not? 2 years into it, let the Chiefs win it all and just get the perfect 3-0 year. Might as well. Give me the Chiefs. The line's at 8. It keeps on moving up. I want to slam it down at 9.5 before I lose any more money on it. Give me the Chiefs to win and cover by a lot. I don't see these Broncos coming into Kansas City after they've been partying all week long and doing anything, especially on defense. This Broncos defense is crumbling, and the offense is fumbling, and I'm stumbling to back them up anymore. So give me the Chiefs. Moving on. Buffalo Bills coming into town against the Indianapolis Colts. Buffalo's been keeping it close while Indy's just barely hanging on by a thread. No Anthony Richardson, but he's healthy this time. They got him sidelined for the old Joe Whack. And I don't think this guy's got it in him to beat these Bills, but I do think he's got the balls to keep it close. Lots of money on the Bills away and coming in here, and I see why. This team's able to run the ball against whoever. Little Ray Davis out of Kentucky, man, that guy's a threat. Talk about Marshawn Lynch, this guy's Marshawn Stench. I've seen linemen twice the size of him holding his jockstrap back at the line of scrimmage. I like little Ray and the Bills to come in here hot early. Bills secondary's really going to allow Josh Downs and Joe Flacco to move this ball vertically. Give me the Colts to cover a 4.5-point spread. This one stayed still and hasn't moved. I could see the underdogs really pulling off some upset wins this week, but we got to play it safe and get that record back up to play. Not so hot the last time we made one of these videos. We're going to see the Colts helping us out with a nice cover against this dangerous rushing offense the Bills got. Come on, Shane Steichen, don't let me down now. Steelers at Commanders. What a bunch of miracles going on in Washington right now. Who would have thought that... Never mind, this ain't a political channel. But it might be in the future. We like the Commanders here. The Steelers have been red hot with Russell Wilson ever since the QB change happened. I thought Russell was healthy since the beginning of the season. You and I both know Mike Tomlin knows what he's doing, and it proves in the progress. I like the pudding he's putting down. But we're backing the Commanders here. Give me the Commanders to win outright. I feel like the Steelers are going to struggle to keep up, and they're going to be forced to play a game they haven't really played all season, and that's catch up. Any of you folks who know about these Steelers, they know a thing or two about catch up. Let me tell you, they play on Heinz Field. But I think these Commanders can pull away from them. TJ Watt deserves the MVP, and you can see it. That man gives it his all every Sunday. But I like the kid and Jaden Daniels and the new pickup at cornerback Marshawn Lattimore. God, that's a great move by Dan Quinn on defense. This team's only getting stronger, folks, and a lot of people want to play there. Crazy to me, crazy to you, crazy to be. Commanders to win, that's what we want to see. Moving on. Vikings at Jacksonville. Vikings coming down south here after a 2-game losing streak. Even though they started the year off hot, going 6-0, Justin Jefferson and the Sam Darnold-led Vikings coming in here against Trevor Lawrence and the, scrappy Jaguars. Who would have thought this team would have started the year so slow? I like them to really bounce back this week and prove to the NFL that they're a name-brand team. It can be complemented with a solid passery as well, as long as Trevor Lawrence is on his P's and Q's. This offensive line's not too shabby. They're a lot better in the run department. They really need to get some better tackles on the edge, especially going up against the veteran defense in the Vikings, who's allowed some of the fewest passing yards in the NFL this year. Not until these last 2 weeks, though. Matthew Stafford did his thing. I like the Jaguars to cover at 4.5 at home. Playing the 4.5s here. I'm liking the dogs this week. I think you folks are really going to see why. I think the Vikings are going to look to struggle here on offense, and the Jaguars are going to have a real breakout game. Plus, the line movement has been in favor of Jacksonville, even though all the money has been on the Vikings. Never like that, folks. In conclusion, we're going to take Jacksonville at plus 4.5. Moving on. Patriots at the Bears. 2 rookie QBs go at it for a great Sunday matchup that nobody's going to watch. Unless you're a Patriot or a Bears fan, of course. But there's a lot of money on these Bears, and the Patriots are getting 7.5. It's a lot of money to be given to these cats who can really run the ball, and the Bears look to struggle to defend it. Drake May's fearless, and he'll tuck it and run it too. Caleb Williams is still trying to find a rhythm with these offensive receivers that he's got. You would think, as loaded as they are, they'd score 30 points plus a game. But there's something stopping them, and it's up here, folks. And I think that these Patriots are gritty enough to keep this one close. A lot of money on the over and a lot of money on the Bears to cover. But I like the Patriots at 7.5, 2 rookie QBs. This could get sloppy. And I like Joe. And I'm not talking about the food either. Joe Sly, the kicker for the Patriots. I think he's going to come in as a crucial factor in this one. Give me Joey Sly and the Patriots to cover. Plus 7.5. Moving on. Titans at Chargers. Tennessee's traveling to L.A. this week to battle Justin Herbert and Jim Hall, and these Superchargers looking great off of a game in Cleveland where they dominated the Browns in the passing game. Herbert's really finding a rhythm there on offense. J.K. Dobbins finding the end zone twice on the ground. Herbert was able to find all of his receivers as they racked in multiple yards. I think they're going to find a hard one here against these Tennessee Titans of Mason Rudolph, especially since Herbert has struggled against former Chiefs cornerback Ladarius Sneed, who's on this Tennessee Titans defense and is locked down. I don't see these Chargers receivers being able to get open as easy as they did against Cleveland. The man concept's going to be a lot more harder for Justin Herbert to decipher. He's going to be having to force a lot of passes, and I think that these Titans will be able to keep it within a touchdown. The line stayed at 7.5, and I see it moving in Tennessee's favor. So before that happens, give me the Titans at plus 7.5, keeping it on the ground, low scoring, big battle. Rudolph and Herbert both making throws when it counts. I just feel like Titans are being able to keep this one close, especially since the Chargers don't play the best at home. It's not like they have any fans. It's always an away game for these Chargers. I don't know a guy who would root for them. Titans plus 7.5. Moving on. Eagles at Cowboys. Make or break for these Cowgirls. Let me tell you, the season's on the line, and everybody's got these Eagles to come in there and just kill ya. Dak Prescott's got a boo-boo on his throwing finger, and he sat out the rest of the game. I don't like these Cowboys to really show anything, but the money does. There's so much money on these Eagles, it makes me sick. That's why I'm backing the dogs heavy this week. NFL has been paying out heavy to the public sides this year, and I really want to make a bounce back with the Vegas book. Give me the Cowboys at plus 7.5 with the Micah Parsons return. You're telling me the Cowboys are getting 7? There's a reason. This team, honestly, the way they've been playing, should be losing by 14, 17 points. Look at what the Lions did to them a couple weeks ago. And then they put up that performance last week. Give me a break. These Cowboys need to grow a pair. I like them to really show it here in a standout game against the Eagles. Jalen Hurts will be having to move around a lot more now that Micah Parsons is back and veteran DeMarcus Lawrence on the other side there to disrupt. I like the Cowboys to keep it close. We just really need to hope that the Cowboys secondary can learn how to play some man defense, because have they been getting beat over top. Give me the Cowboys plus 7.5 in an ugly, ugly, ugly game. God, I'm not even going to watch this one. I'm just going to check the score every now and then and see how my bank account's filling. Jets versus Cardinals. Red Hot Cardinals look to host these fire hose Jets in a matchup where it's basically a coin flip. Both teams are split at 1 point. Cardinals started off this one as a favorite, though, and the line moved towards the Jets. So you want to watch out for that, folks. You never want to back an underdog where all the money's on them. It looks like majority of the money in this one is on the Cardinals to win the game. But it looks like about 60 to 57% of the money of the public and the sharp is on the Jets to cover the spread. Take that data how you please, but I like these Jets. They're finding a rhythm halfway through the year, and Davante Adams finally got in the end zone. That should bring a lot of confidence to this team, as they were really thinking they made some bad decisions. No more Mike Williams to slow him down. That big goofy head's on the Steelers now. And I like Davante to get a lot more touches. Garrett Wilson should have a lot more reps this week as well. Look for him to be a playmaker in this one. Breece Hall in the ground game should struggle. These Cardinals have been pretty locked down. I mean, look what they did to J.K. Dobbins a couple weeks ago when they played the Chargers. I do like Kyler Murray in that offense to move the ball vertically, but these Jets are going to be able to put more points on the board. Give me the Jets money line. Playing it nice and safe. Don't want to take a spread on this one. I like the Jets to be able to come into Arizona here and win one. Sunday night, potential game of the week, folks. Lions travel down south to Houston to play the Texans in a potential Super Bowl matchup in the future. Gotta love these two cities. Both these crowds are very supportive of their teams, and you'll see a lot of red there in that sea of Texans fans as these Lions come in there playing hot, running that ball down the throat on anybody in their way. Who can potentially stop these Lions? I'll give it to the kid, the rising star. He's already elite, C.J. Stroud. This guy's missing his star receiver, Stephon Diggs, and he's going to look to lean on Joe Mixon in this one. The Texans are going to have to find a run game of theirself if they even want to make this one close. We're back in the dogs this week. Heavy. Give me the Texans at plus 4.5 to really shock the world, maybe even win this one. If you look up how much money is on the Lions, it'd scare you. There's no way Vegas is going to allow all these payouts. And I could really see them doing America dirty this week, especially after the election. Give me the cover kid and C.J. Stroud and these red-eyed Texans. Moving on. Final game of the week. Monday night, the Miami Dolphins travel into crazy L.A. Stadium to play the Rams. Tua's back, but yet to get a win. This kid hasn't necessarily been struggling, though. They really could have won last week in Buffalo, but man, is it hard to win there. I like this kid, and he's got a brain for the game. He's just got to keep it safe. Funny thing is, everybody likes to take his under on rushing yards, and every week that he's been back in the NFL after his 4th concussion, he's hit the over. You can't make this stuff up, folks. I really like the Dolphins here as underdogs coming into L.A. Way to cap the week off with a nice Dolphins victory. The Rams are really popping off on offense, though, as their pass defense is really holding the games down close at the end. This Rams team has been able to pull away with some wins these past few weeks and some really hard-fought victories. I like this Rams team to come in here and showcase their offense, but the Dolphins will do the same, and I like their pass defense a lot better. They'll be able to get home here on Matthew Stafford a lot more than the Rams will on Tua, and I think that will be the crucial factor at the end of this game. It's probably going to come down to a field goal. So I like the Dolphins on the money line. Go ahead and get at me on this one. I know I'm going heavy on the dogs, but would you be surprised if the highest paid corner in the NFL, Jalen Ramsey, gets an interception on his former Super Bowl champion team? Can't make this stuff up, folks. That would be a great one, and I could see that sealing the deal. Give me the Dolphins and Tyreek Hill to do his thing. He hasn't had a touchdown in a week. Give me a touchdown on little Tyreek and these Dolphins to bounce back and finally get some confidence and fire into this team's souls. All right, folks, that's been it. We've covered all 14 games of this NFL week slate, and I'm feeling real confident about this one. It's going to be a heavy dog week, and don't be scared to put a couple dollars on them money lines on them big dogs, because I think it's really going to pay out in your favor. Remember, folks, to always fade the public, especially when they're an away dog. Can't explain how many times that's bit people in the butt. Used to me until I learned the hard way. I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in every single week. And as always, folks, don't sweat it, just bet it. Peace!